Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Hi guys.
Just
Go ahead, sing this.
stepping on my feet already.
Sorry. Hi guys. We hope that you're right today. And we are happy to present the Eternal Casual Friday and actually the Great Parliament's Casual Friday that I see on the stream.
Yep.
I think it's the ECL now, isn't
Yes,
it?
the Eternal Community League. We're going with that name for our invitational and all of the tournaments that are going to lead into that invitational.
Yes.
Speaking of those
So
tournaments,
we are actually going to introduce them to you. So you can see on the stream, the current events that are planned for the week. Should be weekly. All of them are weekly. Yeah. So do you want to start talking about them, Cygnus?
sure thing. So, today, it is obviously Friday with the Casual Friday. The Casual Friday is a Swiss best of four with markets and is capped at 4 rounds. And in this event, well, starting next week, this event will be providing points to access the Invitational just for playing.
That's
Then,
the meaning behind the ECL, the Community League. We are awarding points for all of our tournaments. This one being kind of an exception because it's 1 point, like a symbolic point that's being awarded because it still needs to be fun. People should bring fun decks. So we're not giving too many points for this one, but the other ones are granting points for the league. And at the end of the month, there is an invitational, if I followed everything correctly.
that is correct. So, yes, every week we will have the Tuesday Weekly that is targeted more towards a North American audience, timing wise. That's why it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is it's best of three with markets and capped at 4 rounds. And then on Thursdays, we have the weekly European targeted,
Yes.
which is a 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time starting.
Yeah, so that's a bit counterintuitive to have the American time for this one, but the point is it should be for London, Paris around 7 to 8 p.m. I think we are considering it moving it a bit later as well because we know that many people are actually eating at those times. So we are going to see how it goes like next week and we're going to discuss it. But this one is a bit more European oriented. Yes.
And of course, that Thursday Weekly will be the first event to begin awarding points for the
Yes.
August Invitational that currently has over $70 in prizes to the players who
Yep.
are going to be in that event.
And it's like it's a European oriented, but if you are available and you're in the States or in Asia or whatever, you can play. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
we're not
everything is
stopping
fine.
you from playing
Yes,
no matter where you are. Those are just the continents we're targeting the time zones towards.
yes, we've got
So
a
then,
few time zones
as
available.
as
Yes,
you're here for, there's the Eternal Casual Friday, which will not give points for wins, but will still give you points for showing up, saying, "Hey, glad to
yeah,
have you here participating." The Eternal
yeah,
Casual Friday is to be focused more towards casual, fun, silly decks, trying stuff out that you might not otherwise want to try when there's more points on the line.
yeah. The point is to give you a more serious place to practice and still allow you to play fun decks, ones that you wouldn't bring to a more serious tournament. So you can take it as a way also to train for the ETS or the Sunday challenge that we're going to talk about. So just bring whatever you want and no judgment here. We actually broadcast decks that you wouldn't see, I think,
I
in
like
the other
watching weird
tournaments.
decks.
So, yes, me too.
And then for the Sunday challenge, which will be every Sunday except for the last Sunday of the month, because the last
Yes.
Sunday of the month will be our invitational instead. It is a Swiss, as is traditional, but will be Conquest rather than a single deck best of three, where you bring 4 decks and ban one, which means that the matches will be best of 5 and will involve a cut to top 8. So that will be a much longer tournament, but we'll also be awarding twice as many points as the other events, if I
Yeah,
recall.
I think it's twice the other ones. I think it's something like 50 for the one that wins and like 25 for the second one, I think. I'm gonna check that out just after we finish this one. Would be right
Anyway,
then if
that's
that's okay.
the
But
best way to get invitational points. The
yes,
top 16 players, kind of the top 16 points holders for the month will be invited to the invitational.
and as we
So,
said, it's a Swiss conquest, so
yes.
that's different from what we're doing today and the other weeks, the other days of the week. Do we? Oh well, it's written 4 days with a ban, obviously. Yes, that's kind of the Hearthstone format, I guess.
It's our format now.
Yes, but yeah, the point is, there's a restriction to the decks you can bring. You can only bring decks whose factions don't overlap. So like you can't bring Argentport midrange and Pile, I believe. But oh, can you bring Argentport midrange and Pile? No, I don't know. Cygnus, help me.
Well, it depends on the removal pile deck you're talking about. If it is an Argentport removal pile, I imagine then you could not, because those would be the same set of factions.
Is that it? The point is, yeah, the point is the two factions can't overlap uh among your decks.
For example, you
I
can't
think
have
you've got the
a
explanation on this
Stonescar Grenadin
website.
deck and a Stonescar Gunslinger's deck or
Ah,
something.
yes, that's right. Yeah. So
I
I guess
currently can't see
you can
any
do
of the
Argent Port
brackets, but
plus Pile.
sorry about that. I still
Um,
can't see the brackets, so I don't know if the event's ready to get started, because it seems like we've hit the time where it
okay,
probably
so
is about
I
to.
got the correction from the rock. So yes, as you said, you can't play two Stone Scar decks, but you can play Stone Scar plus Pile because it's not technically the same combination of color. So no Chalice and Blitz deck, but let's be honest, who's gonna play Blitz after the changes? I want to
Well, I
see.
still think that there are going to be some legitimate options
Yeah,
for Blitz
guess.
style
I guess
decks.
so.
We're just going to have to take some time to figure it out. Now, beyond that,
Take too much time. I'm
we of
seeing way too
course
many Blitz on the ladder.
we should of course take a moment to talk about our wonderful sponsors, Inked Gaming and
Yes,
Matcherino.
that's yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about. So we've got a sponsorship and we have a partnership with Inked. Basically, Matcherino, you're gonna have the link in the chat popping up at some point. You can this is gonna be our prize pool. You can contribute uh without giving us actually technically money via Matcherino. The link you're gonna see is going to be something like you can go on Twitter and retweet something, and it gives us like 50 cents, and that goes to the prize pool. So everything that goes on Matcherino goes to our prize pool. And with Inked, we've got a partnership. We've got a discount with a link to buy some gear. Is that it?
That is correct. We have links below the stream for both Matcherino and Inked Gaming. For Inked Gaming, where you can purchase custom playmats and mouse pads and various other things with any sort of design you'd be interested in, you can do that. And in purchasing from there, you can use the code TGP12 at checkout to get 12% off your order, and that will also support us. Let them know that we're worth having as a partnership. And then Matcherino, the link below there will send you to the Matcherino page for our invitational, where you can contribute to the
Yes.
prize pool, including using our code ECL August 18, which is written in that description down there, to add to the prize pool without actually having to spend any money on us.
Yes.
Beyond that, there are also a set of various sponsor social links that you can go to once again add more to the prize pool without actually spending any money. Those are great ways to support the invitational without actually having to spend any money. Beyond that, if you are interested in spending money, you have some various different options, like a stream shout out for $1, a supporter role in the Discord for $5, coaching for $15, ad space on the stream for $25, or you can buy Soylent and have the
We
entire
know
price of the
Duncan
Soylent.
loves those.
Yeah, you can have the entire price of the Soylent that you're purchasing, which you get cheaper through buying through Matcherino. You can have the entire price that you're spending also go to the prize pool. It's basically free Soylent.
Free silence. Oh my god. So yeah, yeah. Basically, what will interest you is that yes, everything goes to the prize pool, and you can contribute for free, to it. So if you're interested, do go on the link. It's gonna pop like every 15 or 20 minutes, on the stream, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. Do we have anything else to talk about, Cygnus?
I think the next thing we have to talk about is going to be our tournament, which is starting
Yes.
now.
16 players today, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's exciting.
Okay, should we go on?
Yeah, we're gonna have to find someone. I currently can't see the bracket myself,
Let me check it out.
unless I'm seeing something wrong. I think unless there's no rank 10. Okay, yeah, there's no rank
Yeah.
10 on this setup. So, yeah, there are 16 players. All right, that's the
Okay.
one I needed to be able to actually see the bracket. There we are. So
Yes.
let's make a choice of someone to watch.
Yes. There we go. Uh, did we have a deck list that was? We've checked out the deck list, guys, just before the start of the tournament. And we've got a few
I know what
that are actually very
I know what
interesting.
I want to watch.
Okay. Do you want to watch
We're going to
Duncan? Is
watch
that it?
Duncan versus Cross.
Oh, great. Yes. Perfect. So Duncan is on a spicy list. We're not sure if it works, but
And Cross is
he's
on a
on.
pretty cool list too.
Yes, a bit more serious, but it's fun. Yes, the Duncan's list is actually special. There we go. So Cross is playing a fairly reanimated deck. So basically trying to revive First Flame via grasping at shadows and not playing any fire sigil. So you're gonna have to find a way to play it via grasping. And Duncan is playing. Duncan
Duncan
is
is
playing
playing,
factionless.
yes, a full factionless deck that's still running 13 time sigils because
Oh,
he
I've just
needs to be
understood
running something.
his deck list name. Actually, it's not mono time. It's no time.
Yes,
Actually,
exactly. No, because there's no time in it.
he's
So,
playing 13 times sigil,
and
and that's
everything
it.
else has no faction with it. The One of the more powerful things his deck can do here is use Mask Maker to allow his momentum builder to attack.
Yes.
Or, well, wait a sec. You know why he chose? You know why he chose time? Because he decided that the best units he can get off, or the best things he can get off of Veteran
Veteran
Mercenary
mercenary.
are going to be time.
That's actually yeah. No. Okay, that's a good reason. I don't get why he's not playing any four waystones still, but it's a good reason.
Right, you'd
It's
think
true
the
that
Waystones would be completely free.
yes, not playing any sick power as we were saying. So yes, the waystones would be free, and yes, he's right that the units he can find from veteran mercenary are probably best in time. So
Players are getting into game
that's
now, though.
the reason. So we're gonna check out the game. Yes, let's go. Duncan and Cross. What do you think about Cross's list, though? I
I
haven't
do
seen
like
any on
Cross's
ladder.
list. It's been a
Yeah,
while since I last saw it, but I do think it's pretty exciting.
nice. He's playing 3 Rindra's choice. What is he gonna do against Duncan?
Yeah, those Rangers choices are not going to wind up being very useful against
Yeah.
Duncan.
Okay, so let's
So
go.
Cross is sitting on a mulligan hand that probably will get mulliganed here because, well, as 2 power, it has a Wisdom of the Elders, and in Cold Blood, it has 3 copies of Black Sky Harbinger.
I can't see his hand, but
Right.
it's probably a mulligan from Duncan as well. He's got 1 power. Need more. I actually was toying around with the idea of Recon Tower. It feels interesting to me. I'm
Yeah,
not seeing
Recon
it
Tower
a lot.
is an interesting choice.
Let's see. He's playing Daze. He's playing Alchemist Blast. That's a real draft deck.
Right. It, I'd be very excited if my opponent managed to draft that deck, especially since one of the things in that draft deck is a promo.
Oh,
It's
he's
pretty.
Veteran Mercenary a promo. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Veteran Mercenary was a promo. That was Direwolf Digital's attempt to push people more towards monofaction decks. I think some Mono Justice showed up after that, but pretty much nothing else.
I mean, there's something to do with Mono Justice. Still is, but yeah. Mainly because you've got some flyers that can seal the game. Okay, so are they starting? Maybe. Oh, I can see that. I can see Cross's hand now.
Someone's gonna have to message Duncan to start because it looks like Cross is ready,
Oh,
and we're
he
waiting on
messaged
Duncan.
me. Sorry, I should have told him. It's fine. We're good
All
to
right,
go.
there we are.
So that's a good hand from Cross. He's got the Nocturnal Observer ready. He's got. It's going to be important because the discard is primordial to the deck, and he's got the market available. That's nice. And Duncan's got 2 Urus Travel.
I want to point out that Duncan is also making use of the new premium card back. Either
And
player
also
can
the
spin the wheel.
can they? I haven't found anybody who's playing it. I want to see it. So Urus
Right.
Travel, 2 of them on the board.
So you can see that, of course, the Horse Traver is going to be adding time influence and nothing else because anything else would be
Yes.
a mistake. Same for the Veteran Strategist. Over on Cross's side of things, Cross is just trying to complete Cross's game plan, which for now is to be able to find something to reanimate and then reanimate it with that Grasping at Shadows.
Hmm.
Nocturnal Observer is, of course, a way to send anything he wants to reanimate from his hand to the void.
Yeah, you can't afford to put Nocturnal Observer on the board without having anything to send to the void yet, because you're playing Elkstorm, you're playing things that actually don't go well with Nocturnal Observer. So you need to have something in your hand
You know,
immediately.
Xenon
Yes.
Obelisk would be really good for Duncan Wren right now.
Yes. But he doesn't want to play time. He want to play no faction. Leave him be.
Well, I mean, he could possibly get a he could possibly get an obelisk
The,
off
the
of
real
the
question is,
veteran
yeah, the
mercenary.
veteran mercenary. The real question is, what is he gonna do when the champion of cunning gets on the board?
He's gonna be sad. That's what he's
Yeah,
gonna do. I
you
mean, he
see,
can blow an Aegis, but
yeah,
not much else.
that's basically what I was talking about. It was Cross was forced to send the Elstorm to the void because you want to keep your Nocturnal Observer on the
Right.
board. So having it doesn't doesn't
Now
help.
here's what I imagine to be Duncan Wren's win con in the momentum builder, but that's not going to be very good until he finds a way to start the momentum.
Yes, I'm checking out what Cross can do against momentum builders. So permafrost, the deadly from the market, the merchant guy, and that's basically it. But that's already a lot, actually.
I mean, in cold blood
Oh,
from
in
the
cold
market.
blood as well. Yeah, looking for it.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 1 stun.
Duncan did indeed alchemical blast to break the Champion of Cunning's Aegis, and I don't actually know what card is in Duncan's hand.
Disrupt. It kills an enemy relic or it silences an enemy unit. Cost 3.
Well,
I was checking it out. I
he, get,
cheated.
he gets to silence something.
Well, the
Yeah.
9-5 makes sense there.
Yeah, but there's still another 9/5 that's going to make everything else continually grow, and that means they're going to be too big for Momentum Builder to block, but that doesn't matter because he's just going to attack in the air. Turns out, Champion of Cunning Beatdown is still good.
The deck that Duncan is playing is not helping.
True.
Yeah, Champion of Cunning is still very good, obviously.
I'm pretty sure Duncan just wanted to protest Eldrazi.
Oh. Okay, are they starting again? Poor Duncan. He hasn't found the greatest matchup to play his beautiful deck against.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. I want to see it do something. I'm not sure if it has anything that it can do, but I want to see
Yeah,
it do
what's the best deck to actually face with this kind of deck? Nothing, right?
Mono power?
Mono power, yeah, maybe. Makes sense. Ooh, Duncan is in game again, so let's go and check it
And
out.
Cross is going to have to take a mulligan here. That's a 1 power hand.
I'm gonna spectate that in a sec. Um, maybe a keep from Duncan. There is no pressure from his deck. Like, it's cute.
Yeah. At
He
best.
knows we're going to trash his deck, so it's fine. But yes, he doesn't have much to do against a deck like Cross's.
Cross is just digging for something to discard to reanimate. As
Yeah,
his
we
deck
haven't seen any
goes.
first flame. That's not okay. I want to see first flames.
Yeah, it turns out you don't need it when you have 3 champions of
3
cunning.
champion of cunning, yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So petition is gonna go grab a power.
I'm
And
checking out Mass Maker. The units that share a type with Mass Maker have +1/+1. How did that even like? Is there no other faction? Oh god, that hurts. Is there no other factionless unit that you have to play Mass Maker in this kind of deck? There
I
is
mean,
no.
Mask Maker is one of the better units in his deck, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, have you seen the rest of his deck though? The point is that you wanna. Huh? I don't know. You want to have some kind of synergy with Mask Maker, and what other soldier or whatever do you have? Like, it's basically an obelisk for one unit at this point.
Yep,
Hmm.
it's bad.
Poor Duncan. This deck
He of,
seems to be appreciated by the chat.
yeah, he of course also has Spiked Helm to begin the momentum from Momentum
Yes,
Builder.
but then he's discarded the momentum builder, so 2 of them.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
Oh wait, I can play with the card back now. I'm watching. Yeah, this looks I don't even know. Like, what can he do? Maybe Cross can kill himself with the Nightfall. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has taken relevant damage at this point.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he's gonna. And he still doesn't have anything to reanimate. He's still digging for something. He's probably gonna discard that Ranger's Choice
Yeah, that
because it does
Reno's choice. Yeah.
literally nothing. And another Herald Song to find a Champion of Cunning. Well, that's something he'll be able to play next turn. It's no first flame, which is
Ooh.
annoying, but it is definitely a big source of pressure. However, that champion of cunning, can get dazed and subsequently silenced, so it probably won't be able to put on too much pressure. Due to that, Cross has decided to instead dig into the market to grab In Cold Blood
In cold
as a
blood?
must be a precaution against the momentum builder, just
Hmm.
in case. Ooh,
Beautiful.
Flying Horus Traver.
That's scary. Technically, the champion of cunning has flying and not the boost for now from the
Yeah,
shadow side. So
that is true. The Aegis still means that it will have to be hit by two different spells to be actually dealt with. And that second spell, of course, has to
that's
silence it because there's nothing in Duncan's deck that would actually straight up kill something with a whole 5 toughness.
ooh, veteran mercenary. His win condition. It's here. He's not playing it. No, I'm very sad.
Why? No,
Wait,
why
that
is he
blocks.
stunning the 2-3?
Technically, that blocks the effect from observer.
I mean,
So,
yeah, but he's gonna feel bad about that due to that
oh
champion of
yes,
cunning.
yes he is. Oh, let
Well,
me
I
see a
mean,
veteran. Yes, 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 yes.
okay, veteran mercenaries. Hey, I recall you talking about that particular card when we were talking
Yes.
about a completely different deck. Oh, he got unblockable off the veteran mercenary,
Yeah,
off the
that's very good actually.
alchemist concoction for the veteran mercenary, and oh,
Okay, so
what?
Cross is gonna grab from the market a burglarize. Is burglarizer able to steal the? No, it's just on
No, that's
relics,
just
right?
relics. Yeah, he has to
Okay, so
grab Rendra.
Rindra.
He has to find a way to
Yeah.
race this unblockable damage.
How is that even legal? Like, this is the biggest steal I've ever seen. Okay, discarding the
Yeah,
sigil.
yeah, because Duncan can silence the Rendra. So
Yes.
Cross isn't going to be able to gain any life. Why is this happening?
Wait, we'll see if Duncan actually thinks about it. But
I
this
I
looks
can't imagine Duncan would overlook
okay,
being able to silence Rendra.
or even stun it.
Yeah, stunning it works with the days.
This is okay. This is the biggest steal I've ever seen.
Here it is.
Okay, okay.
I this is
Is there a
happening.
kill? Okay, we're gonna see two Nocturnal Observers to find some kills, and Cross is very rightly playing the scout
Yep.
before actually using the
Now let's see if he
observer.
chooses to use the Herald Song before
Probably
another
it's cheaper.
observer.
It yeah, it's cheaper. It's
Hailstorm's not
better.
quite enough.
Yeah,
He's
but
gonna
you're gonna
need.
want to keep it, right? If you find a second one? No, okay.
He's just digging for hard removal.
I mean, I would send back the grasping at shadow at this point. You're not gonna be able
Yeah,
to play it.
but it's not gonna wind up mattering. I don't think. I think
Yes.
that Duncan Wren managed to somehow win a game here.
Wait. You need to observe it for permafrost at least. Oh god, this was.
Yep.
This is beautiful. This is
This is
this is great.
incredible. Yeah, because
Oh,
I
Duncan.
don't have words at this point. We
We were
are
wrong
about to
all
see
along.
Duncan Wren with
He's gonna play the mercenary for the BM. Yes, I knew it.
we're,
Oh, this
we're
is
gonna see
beautiful.
Duncan Wren with factionless take a
Okay,
game
so
off of Cross.
so this alchemist concoction is actually Duncan Wren's best card now.
Yeah, yeah, Alchemist
Okay.
Concoction can be Duncan Wren's best card. It can also be useless. It could give a 1-1 reckless.
Well, I loved it.
It worked out very well there, that's for sure.
Okay, he's in game again.
Yep, we're
Eh,
diving right back in for
I don't
game
know what I'm
three.
expecting now.
Somehow we're on game three. Duncan Wren could win this match. Wasn't expecting that. Very basic looking hand from Cross. Two Wisdom of the Elders will allow him to dig
Yes.
further in to see what he can get. Around Duncan's side of things,
So I
ooh,
think
that's a momentum
the
builder
big
and a
thing,
hat.
yes, you've got the spike tail and the momentum builder in Duncan Wren's hand.
So I imagine the lore is the you're putting the hat on the people who are driving the momentum builder, right?
You're clearly putting it on the tank.
I mean,
It's not
it's
a
a
tank.
drill.
It's a drill.
Yeah.
Isn't
Uh,
it like a ram?
I suppose it could be a battering ram. Yeah. Yeah, I see that as another possibility, but it's time to start building
Well,
up momentum.
yes.
It'll only last for one turn because then the momentum builder's gonna die in cold blood.
But I think that the big point that that Cross is gonna take home from his last game is that in cold blood it's actually important and you shouldn't play it on momentum builder when it's not buffed because
Right.
he did play
Right.
one on a
Yeah. Ooh, now
preemptive
here
one,
we
a
do
first
see
flame,
First
yes,
Flame,
and
and it
the
is discarded off of
yes,
that Nocturnal Observer. That means that this turn, Cross is going to be able to reanimate it. That's a turn 5 First Flame. That is terrifying. It's, of course, also tributed because it itself went to the void.
yes.
That means that Duncan's going to take 15 damage from Infernus's, which is going to result in 3 Flame Fangs showing up, and the first flame stays around.
I think
Ooh,
Duncan has
wow.
all the chances in the world to win this. He just has to find, I don't know, something else.
Remember, the Momentum Builder has Reckless, so he doesn't get to not
Yeah,
attack with it. Meaning he's having to stun the first flame on attacks, so he can get in for 7 with the Momentum Builder here.
then you've got an alchemist blast that can kill the one of the flame fang.
Yeah, one of the Flame Fangs can die to that Alchemical Blast right here.
Okay. Wait, was it lethal to bring back one of the infernus? One of the infernus is in the. They go to the void, right? The infernuses.
Yeah, they do go to the Void. You could bring back an Infernus, but there we
Yeah.
are. Cross shows that his deck actually had a plan, unlike Duncan's, which was just a pile of cards that didn't have factions.
We loved it though.
Oh yes,
let's
no, I
let's give him
absolutely
this credit.
loved
That was
Duncan's
great. Ah,
silly thing. So I think
okay,
we're
that was
going
amazing.
to jump over to a backup match of Houdini versus Pretorius.
Versus Bretorius, yes. We have no. Okay, we won't get you the deck list. I believe we're gonna jump right into the match.
Yeah.
But do you have the guys added, Cygnus?
Yep.
Okay.
So Houdini
So
seems to be on
Udemy
Icaria
is in
Blue.
Icaria Blue, yes. Playing a Starsteel Dice Show, which is making a bit of a comeback, and obviously 3 reason plus one in the market.
And
Yeah, that's
who
a standard list.
and Pretorius is not on a standard list, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Bretorius is yes, he's on a fence car somewhat control list, and you can find in his deck something that is called Firemane Cub, which I believe is a real card.
It is a real card. It is a 1/1 for 1 that has the summon ability, deal 1 damage to an
Yeah,
enemy unit.
it's adorable Simba.
He has quite a few things that deal damage to enemy units. The reason he's doing that is because he's running Kyrex Coach Driver. Kyrex Coach
Yes.
Driver is a 3/3 for 4 double faction or double
Double
faction.
shadow,
Yeah,
yes.
double shadow. That's what I was trying to say. Somehow I said double faction. Anyway, it has Inspire. Units you draw are deadly and
Deadly,
summon
yes.
Nightfall. So
So fireman.
of
Oh,
this
sorry. Go
deck,
ahead. Yes.
the point of this deck is to put deadly onto as many units as possible.
Including
And
fireman, black scavenger, and tripwire grenadine, which deal damage by themselves, and
yeah,
that counts as deadly.
Stormcaller even. Stormcaller can also shoot things down. It's all focused
Stormcaller,
around
and technically you've got Dragon Breath as well, which is
yes.
the spell that says that your unit. It's basically a killer without the damage dealt to your unit, and it's
That is a very good way of putting it.
basically that's how I see it, and the deadly is gonna apply.
Right. Yes, deadly still does imply because the unit is dealing damage. And because why would you not have it in the market of the deadly deck? There is a last word in the
Yes.
market because it just makes thematic sense.
So I think Udini is in a correct position actually. You got Flamestalker, you got Ikaria, a ton of removal. That's gonna be hard for Bretorius. I'm just gonna have to check
Definitely.
what's
That
in
Flame
the
Stoker as well. There's not really any way for Pretorius to deal with that,
yeah.
even if he were able to find a situation where he actually is advantaged against the rest of Houdini's deck,
There
which
is
doesn't seem
no
entirely
relic.
likely at this point.
There is no relic removal in Bretorius's market, so yeah, it's definitely gonna have a problem with the flame stoker when it gets on the board, but we are gonna see more removal and a potential rune.
Yeah, at this point, Pretorius just has too many non cards in hand.
Yeah, I don't know if you got unlucky on the draws. I am checking the graveyard. Black Scarbinger statue in Maiden. uh Fireman Cap. Yeah, I don't
Interesting
know,
that
it's yeah.
he chose not to kill the Exton merchant with the torch. What do you imagine he might be holding the torch for then?
I mean,
From
popping the Karya's Aegis, maybe?
that is an option, but right now it's not really like there's a way to follow that up. And Icaria
I
is not a
feel, yeah.
present threat. Icaria is not even being played now because Houdini is good with just Ixton Merchant Beatdown.
Mm. I would play weapon. If you're not playing the Karya, you should probably put some more pressure. Yeah, there you go.
Sword of the Sky King. That's gonna be 8 more damage. And I don't think Pretorius has any way to survive at this point. Which is a
Uh,
shame. I wanted to see Brett's deck do something.
do we know if it's the second game?
I guess we don't.
The rock put that it's 1-1, but I'm not entirely certain. Okay, maybe it's a leftover from the previous match.
Here's
Okay.
another
Yeah.
return of the Black Sky Harbinger, which will gain Pretorius quite a bit of life.
Yeah, you're gonna see still a vanquish and some more beat
Oh,
downs.
but
Yeah, that was a
that
misplay.
was incorrect sequencing. He could have put the arm onto the Black Sky Harbinger before having it kill the Ixton Merchant. And yes, I'm getting confirmation that this is currently 0-1, so like Houdini is up 1-0 and is
Okay.
probably about to be up 2-0.
Yes, it seems like it.
Turns out
Yeah.
2-0 is also the end of the match.
So torch to the
Coach
face, I
himself,
guess, and Stonecaller to the face.
Stormcaller yourself, and concede.
Yep. That's too bad because I like you. I want to see Bretoy's deck a little bit more. I feel like it's lacking something at 4, maybe 4 or 5. There seems
Yeah,
to be a
something.
lack of pressure somewhere, but we'll see. Maybe we're gonna find it again. We've got a few more rounds than usual today
Yeah, but that's everything for this
for
round.
this
So
round.
let's take a break and be back for round two. What's the thing in the center? Oh, And we are back.
Yes, welcome back. Round two of the Casual Friday.
That is
So
correct.
we've got Western Cancer versus Solar Flare. So GPS control on Solar Flare's side, a pretty standard list, I would say, with two sort of the Sky King, which is nice. And on Western Cancer's side, we've got Cygnus's new favorite deck list, apparently.
It's really cool. It's a moment of creation and Mask of Torment deck. Like, what is going on there? I mean,
With Heart of the Vault.
yeah, the the only moment is actually in the market, so it's more focused around being a mask deck, but it can also make big things for moment of creation as well.
Yeah, you've
And
got
I like mask
many
decks.
spells, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a very exciting looking list to me.
And it is playing, as you were saying, for Arcana, which is one of the new spells, a 5-cost spell that gains you 4 life, I believe, and lets you draw 2 cards.
That is correct. Not a card you would normally think really see any play just because it seems so expensive compared to other
Yeah, draw
cards that would
effect.
draw you two cards. But here it is. Here it
I have
is.
tried it in Mass deck. No, not in 4 copies. That would have been a bit much in my decks actually, but in 2 it actually did a lot of work. I like it.
Western Cancer is also running Flame Blast. I have not seen that card in a long
Yeah,
time.
I don't know how it compares to the other options these days. Seems to be a cheap removal spell for what Western Cancer want to do, because why not play Obliterate if you want something expensive? But
Well,
maybe it's a finisher.
yeah, exactly. It's probably as a finisher because
Hmm.
we all know Mask decks are very capable of getting up to 20 plus power. He could kill Solar
That's
Flare with
true, actually.
one
Yes.
blow.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. That's true. That's probably it. Hmm.
And I mean,
I
what
should
does Solar
definitely
Flare
look
have in
into
the
it.
way of relic removal? He actually has some strong relic removal, right? He's running multiple copies of Vision of Austerity,
Ugh,
one in the main and one in the market.
horrible person.
That's definitely a way to provide this mask deck with some problems.
Two Vision of Austerity is interesting. That's true. Usually see one in the market, and it's already so powerful in the market against the relic decks. So I don't think if you need more, but
Here
apparently
we see.
Solarflare thinks you do.
Yep. So I think it's time to go ahead and get into
Yes.
game.
Let's see what we've got. But that's probably a mulligan. Oh no, actually, maybe a keep on a Solarflare's side. You don't have much pressure on a
And we
Western
see
Cancer
Western
side.
Cancer mulliganing into a hand that doesn't really do much
Ooh,
up until turn 4 or 5.
you've got the
But
crest to
yeah, all of the
arrange
cards,
the
all
end.
of his power is crests, which means that he's pretty likely to be able to find something at
Hmm.
some point. Man, those crests really heavily incentivize being two or even three faction or two faction with a splash. They're just so good.
Yes, yes, they're good. Okay, bottoming the petition because you've got so many other options for power. Sort
Right.
of deciding to keep his starting end, which I think is the right idea. You don't need to put pressure early against Western Kansas deck. You need to find your options though, so the draw is nice.
And there's something Western Cancer definitely kept on top, that Mask of Torment.
Mm.
We'll be able to follow it up with that Temple Scribe, or the Devoted Theurge, or even Vital Arcana.
You've got many options for the mask here, but you've got there you go. You've got the merchant, so probably a vision of austerity coming up.
Yeah, since this is once again an open deck list format where both players know what their opponent is playing, Solar Flare knows that the core of Western Cancer's deck is that Mask of Torment, so it's going to be best to go get that Omen of Austerity,
So
Vision of Austerity to place the
Western
Omen.
Cancer, the one thing that Western Cancer can do is go and fetch disjunction from the market at some point and actually remove the omen of austerity. I think the name
Yeah,
is called.
perhaps that is what Solar Flare is running the second copy for.
Maybe it is. Like if he was expecting a mass deck, maybe it is. Yes.
But I mean, Banish can destroy the Vision of Austerity as well, right?
I was thinking about it and I am not certain. I think it can.
Since
I think it's
Vision itself only costs, what, three?
I am not certain if Banish can do that. I would say yes. I
Vision
would
of
say
Austerity only
yeah,
costs
yeah.
two, so the Omen of Austerity should probably cost like two as well.
Let's just remind our viewers that this is incredibly inefficient and Vision of Austerity is way too powerful for what it does. Thank you very much.
I think it's fine.
No, it's
I
not.
I
It
honestly
really
think Vision of
isn't.
Austerity is a completely reasonable card for
It's a
Eternal,
poorly
how
designed
Eternal
it's a
plays.
poorly designed card.
Phoenixton has some very strong opinions about hit cards like Vision of Austerity and its
It's so
subsequent Omen
binary.
of Austerity, but the thing is, I think that Eternal is built around having super powerful cards and super powerful hate cards. Like Heart of the
It is
Vault.
not fair and balanced. No, 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 no. Don't put that on the stream. It is not fair and balanced. And I disagree, Cygnus. This is this is a weird design for an eternal card. It is binary. It shut down entire strategies. And I mean, it's fine if you're gonna find the Xenon Obelisk of your opponent, okay, because he's got other win conditions. But it shut down Mask, which is not normal. You are building your deck around Mask, and this card, in conjunction with Markets, I've got to add, if you're running Vision of Austerity in your main deck, which you could have been before the market update, before the new set, that was fair because you were taking space in your deck to actually put Vision of Austerity, which is a cost. But this is not a cost anymore, and this is not normal. Vision of Austerity needs a rework. I'm very unhappy about this card.
Then how do you feel about Teacher of Humility, who completely shuts down strategies as well?
mm, does it though? I still think Teacher of Austerity is too strong. It is true. Vision of Austerity shuts down strategies. Teacher kind of make it a bit harder to play them, I guess. It's too strong. Yes, the cost should be the effect should go to like two, but I don't know. It's not comparable to me. This is way too binary for me. That's the main point. It's like when In Cold Blood was released, and we were like, yeah, but is it an interesting design though? I don't know. It's a cool card. It's not very interesting for Eternal to
Yeah,
me.
it's, in Cold Blood is another one of those very strong hate cards.
Yes.
It's a theme that Eternal has that I think it needs to have if it also wants to have cards that are as powerful as your Heart of the Vault, your Haunting Scream, your Your Mask
Is
of
it
Torment,
comparable
even.
though?
I would say Mask of Torment is a powerful enough card that it needs to have something as
But
powerful in the way of
I
hitting
disagree
as
entirely. Mask of Torment is incredibly not strong enough. Like this is not okay. This used to cost 5 and be 25, and it wasn't okay. They put it to 4 and 20, and it's still not well played. It doesn't do much. You don't win the game when you activate Mask. You do not. I
it's
am
still
not okay with that.
powerful enough that people build decks around it, and that's the point of what I'm saying.
We build
Once again,
decks around it because it's fun.
Western Cancer has two ways to destroy that omen of austerity in his
To
market.
destroy it, but it goes to the void, so you need something else to retrieve it. The only right way to do this is to banish the omen of austerity and to get the disjunction to get it to get the mask from the void. That's two market cards. That's inefficient.
I mean, yeah, it would be inefficient to go get the other one, but also if you look, it is not even in Western Cancer's void because it was transformed into that omen of austerity.
I am very much certain that if you disjunction the omen of austerity, your relic goes to the void.
I imagine it would go to the void as an omen of austerity, right?
I don't think so. I have done it many times, and maybe I'm magically wrong, but I don't think so.
I feel that would be very strange. Either way, let's talk a little bit about the game
But
instead
nothing
of
is
just.
happening. It's GPS control.
I mean,
Look, it got three Ashfuls in his hand.
I
What is going
think
to
that
happen?
Western Cancer made a significant mistake in not keeping the other Flame Blast on top. Because I think those Flame
Yeah,
Blasts are absolutely Western Cancer's way of winning this match. One Flame Blast right now can deal half of Solar Flare's remaining life.
you are right. And actually, since Solar Flare is only at 6, the Ashful doesn't allow him to play Alien's Choice after having played the Ashful. So you
Exactly.
basically
There
should have
are
kept the
going
Flame
to be
Blast. Yes.
turns where there is not enough power for Solar Flare to cast that Island's Choice, and I think it's very possible for Western Cancer to still win this match due to that.
We'll see. He's got 3 in his deck. Flame Blast. Hmm.
Well, Solar Flare is going to spend the Island's Choice here to kill the Heart of the Vault as well, which means now he doesn't have any way
Yeah.
to counter that Flame Blast, which is currently dealing 9 damage. That can get up to pretty much lethal with the help of this Heart of the Vault and that Torch.
I don't know. We're gonna see an Ashful still.
Yeah, sure, the Harshful will come out to kill this other Heart of the Vault, but with every turn, Western Cancer still plays
Yes.
another power, and it's pretty much at the point where all of that power is enough power to almost insta kill with the Flame Blast. It's not quite instant yet, it's 10 damage.
Ooh, that's the walk.
End of the story, warped off the top of Solar Flare's deck.
Such a sweet animation too. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's for sure.
Is he gonna wait for the flame blast to be lethal? In your opinion?
Yeah, yeah, I understand Western Cancer wanting to wait here for the Flame Blast to be lethal. I think
Mm.
that you might go for the plan of using the
No.
torch,
Why
but
would you kill? Why would you keep the?
there's
Oh,
actually a negative to that in that
yes.
Solar Flare
Sorry.
is running the Sword of the Sky King,
Yes,
which
and hmm.
the 8 life gained is relevant, but it's not going to wind up being here. So now Western Cancer has the opportunity to torch on the end of Solar Flare's turn and
Western
have
Cancer.
lethal from the Flame Blast.
He kept an Inkle Blood on top of the deck, which is a bit weird to me. I am
Solar
I'm a
Flare
bit
should
surprised
know
by him.
that Western Cancer has ways to win that aren't
Ooh,
units.
there you go.
And I think Western Cancer just left the Cold Blood on top because it doesn't matter. As we see, it didn't matter.
Wait,
Western Cancer manages to win that game.
wait. It didn't matter at the time, but Solarflare would have, if Solarflare had played the 8-8 or even the 4-4 that gives you armor, it mattered.
Eh, maybe.
Uh,
But here we are with Western Cancer up one game over Solar Flare, in spite of having a deck that is completely built around an attachment that got Omen of Austerity.
Yes.
And Omen of Austerity is
To be
still too
fair,
powerful.
yes, it is. To be fair, Solarflare, I think won't make the mistake again of not playing some armor or some weapons against Cancer.
Right, Flame
It was
Blast
a
is
mistake
one
in
of the
my
cores.
opinion.
Flame Blast is one of the cores of Western Cancer's deck for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna keep the alien's choice for it. I mean, if he adapts to the deck he's facing, then I don't think Solarflare is gonna lose the next one. We'll see. And yes, Omen of Austerity is too strong, but you're not gonna send me there again. So we're gonna see. I don't know. Banish. Banish is a good market card. But what does it do against Solarflare's
It
deck?
destroys an Omen of Austerity.
You're a terrible person. Two market cards. Two. You want to get your Mask of Torment from your market. That's why you're playing it.
Oh,
You'll
you just
finish
need
one
two
flame.
merchants.
uh,
One merchant to
you need
get.
three. You need all your merchants. That's it. That's your best card. Go ahead.
I mean, merchants are strong. That much is
Yes,
for
they
sure.
are. Yes, they are.
But I remain far from convinced that Omen of Austerity is too powerful.
At the very least, it's too binary and, in my opinion, not fun to play against.
I mean, there are a lot of cards in Eternal that aren't fun to play against.
Are you gonna say Ikaria?
Yeah, Ikaria is not fun to
Eh,
play against.
it's not fun, and there are options to cleanly remove it. But then it costs 7, which is still a cost in Eternal.
I don't
You
find
can die.
Kalias fun to play against either.
Who?
Kalis. That's
What's that?
the weapon that you sacrifice your whole
What? Well,
board
that's a
to
fun
make
deck.
massive.
So many ways to build it.
Yeah, but it's not that fun to play against.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I can understand the argument that Chalice isn't fun to play against.
Yeah,
It's very fun
Chalice,
to play, but
Temporal,
Chalice? Um, Temple what?
Temporal
Oh,
Distortion.
Temporal Distortion. No, that's the worst. That's true.
There are a lot of cards in Eternal that aren't that fun to play
I
against, and
guess you're right.
there's also a lot of very strong hate cards. And I mean, I think the game is built around having strong hate cards, and I think that's okay.
Uh, I remain convinced about Omen of Austerity, but we'll see. If Western Cancer takes this one, I will. After having been Omen in the face, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind.
So here we see Western Cancer on a hand that has access to that Aurelian Merchant, which will probably allow him to go get a Mask of Torment.
I think he should get a disjunction, a preventive one.
Maybe with this Merchant, which is going to stay on top.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna see Solarflare getting some Shadow Sigil
Yeah, and the
and
thing
not
is,
doing much. Yes.
the Vision of Austerity is the only thing that Solar Flare has to deal with that Mask of Torment, which is the core
Yes.
of Western Cancer's list.
I mean, technically, you would have access to other options. I agree that they're not as good, but that doesn't mean the card isn't too good. That's actually the opposite. Like, this is the better card that you can play in these factions against the relic decks. You have access to burglarize in Solar Flare's colors. You could play something else.
Right.
You don't do it because the better option is Omen. That's sad. It is.
My point is that I don't think it's going to be enough to permanently deal with these masks of torment.
We'll see. We'll see. I think this is an omen coming up, or vision. I guess is the spell called vision.
Yeah, the spell is called Vision, and the thing it makes is an omen, but
Ooh,
that is
feeding
not.
time.
I understand getting the feeding time here because Solar
Yes.
Flare does have to wait for Mask of Torment to show up, but then again, he also saw that Western Cancer pulled something out of the market.
No, yeah, yeah. The I think it's mainly to say I have picked up vision of austerity and you can't play mask right now. That's basically what that's doing.
Right, but I mean, you can just play it anyway.
Well, you could play it after having searched for your ways to destroy the omen of austerity.
You already have your way to destroy the Omen of Austerity. It's the Aurelian Merchant.
I know, so you play the merchant first.
You don't need to, though.
Oh, stop it. Play it first and I mean if he had wanted to play it, he would have played the mask now. There's no reason not to.
There is a reason not to.
Which is
To be able to start getting life force triggers the turn you play the mask. And also being able to spending the turn there getting the influence that he did means that he will be able to play the Granite Waystone and play the Heart of the Vault next turn.
I mean I sure hope that if he's playing the mask, he's gonna play the other waystone. You can play the granite waystone when the heart of the vault is already in your hand. Doesn't change much, but you get the +1 from the waystone,
Oh,
I
you play the
suppose.
Granite Waystone next turn so that you're able to play the Heart of the Vault and put on some pressure.
Meh.
Sure, that pressure will just wind up dying to one of the mini kill spells in Solar Flare's hand.
We'll see. I don't know how Western Cancer wants to play this. Like, is he waiting to see if Solar Flare really went to get his vision of austerity, or is he just wanting to play his units and put the pressure, as you say? I don't know. Maybe yeah, okay, you want to play the heart of the vault, get DGs. At this
Yeah,
point, isn't
that's.
it even better to like put the damage to the face?
I mean, it's 2 damage to face, and then you. I feel like for Western Cancer has to recognize that it is going to get killed. So instead, he's choosing to play the Aurelian Merchant here. Of all choices, that seems rather odd. Let's see what
Yes.
Western Cancer chooses to grab. It is the
Oh.
Destruction.
Well, we're gonna get to see if Masks goes to the void transform or not
I
from
don't
the
see why
destruction.
it would untransform.
I think it does. I think you get the on Solar Flare's side, you get the Vision of Austerity back, and the way you get a permafrost back.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah. You'll get the permafrost in Solar Flare, well, the vision in Solar Flare's Void, but not the mask in Western Cancer's Void. Because the mask was transformed.
I don't know. I really remember doing it and actually getting my mask
Well,
back,
we'll
but
get to
maybe I'm wrong.
see. So it was now transformed into an omen of austerity, which
Yes.
means that Western Cancer cannot play any Masks of Torment. However, Western Cancer can use that disjunction, as we're probably going to see on the end of his turn,
Would be
to
funny if you didn't.
destroy the Omen of Austerity, which sends the Omen
Yeah.
of Austerity into Solar Flare's Void and allows Western Cancer to play that second Mask of Torment and start getting power off of it due to the
Yeah,
life
but you're the
gain
only one who
from
can
Temple
check
Stride.
if Western cancers. I don't have them, so you need to tell me
Look, there's
if the
there's no Mask of Torment in Western Cancer's Void, and
okay
there's
then.
only one Mask of Torment in Western Cancer's
Can I add that
Relic Plus.
this is even worse? Like this is awful in so many ways now.
What do you
Ooh,
mean?
okay. Got did he scout for the torch? I'd
Yeah,
imagine
he
that he
he
did.
scouted the
Okay.
torch and
Okay.
then
Okay.
used the Heart of the Vault to.
Well, I mean, what I meant was that it's worse for the player who is on the receiving end from Vision of Austerity not to get the relic back in the void. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's worse than actually getting the relic in the void, but not by a huge
Transform on.
amount. I mean, it's still more forgiving than Cold Blood. In Cold Blood is permanent and done, and nothing you can do about it.
But the difference is that if you're playing a relic in four copies, you're usually building, with the exception of Xenon Obelisk, you're usually building your deck around this relic. When you're getting in Cold Blood, well, you have your other units. If you don't have other units, you're just like begging the opponent to actually. I don't know how to put this politely, but you're basically begging for it.
Oh come on, there's dramatist mask decks out there that are running just one unit. Sure,
Yes,
it's
you can't
usually
get.
not a justice unit, so
Yeah,
that part of it doesn't really matter, but eh.
I mean,
So
technically that's true, but then it's natural for a deck that plays only one unit to get the unit removed because your opponent is playing removal.
yeah, well, Western Cancer is up to 13 power. Still going to need more to be able to make his Flame Blast lethal, but currently doesn't have Flame Blast anyway, so that's not exactly a huge issue. Solar Flare is going to have to start considering using a harsh rule here because of the potential board state, but that's not yet a good time, really, because there's going to be another Heart of the Vault or a
Yes,
Ion that shows up.
should be, but yeah.
Hmm,
Is he
this,
gonna Arshul right now? Does he want to keep? Yeah, okay. He wants to Arshul because he wants to keep the Edin's choice for the potential flame blast.
yeah, and he recognizes he's at a point where he no longer has profitable attacks and wants to be able to continue that because at this point he's recognizing that between the Tormentor and the Flame Blast and stuff, Western Cancer has a perfectly acceptable late game against Solar Flare's control deck.
Do you, okay, there was a market for the same card. I was gonna say that I would have waited a turn for the merchant, maybe to discard the potential power. But Solar Flare wanted to put the merchant on the board. It's gonna get annihilated, yeah.
Just remember that Western Cancer has a fully functioning Mask of Torment and has just won because Solar Flare conceded.
Yes, yes. I okay. Okay, then I'm gonna change my opinion on Vision of Austerity and still keep on complaining when you're not here, but okay, you won this one.
So,
I
congratulations to Western Cancer for beating Solar Flare
Yes,
2-0
that wasn't
there.
what we expected actually.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
Western
nice.
Cancer is now one of the remaining 2-0 players match-wise.
Yes, with a sweet deck. Really, I if it doesn't find another player playing Vision, I can see it going further. I like it.
I mean, he can beat Vision too.
I okay. You were right about the second game. I maintain that the first game was a mistake on Solar Flare's side. Like not a big one, but he wasn't lucky because he didn't know the deck that well he was facing. But the not putting the armor was a mistake. Both game. I'm being told that Heart of the Vault won the both games, and we are talking too much about Vision. So let's not say the words Vision
I mean,
anymore.
Heart of the Vault
Never
is a
again.
really strong card that,
Yes.
and
What
and
can we
Solar
say about
Flare,
Heart of the Vault?
Western Cancer was getting several copies of Heart of the Vault to just be a massive role player there.
Such a good card.
Yeah, why are we
Oh.
like this?
Do we have anybody else to check out? I feel like
Pretorius is in
Pretorius is
game,
still
but
in
I
game.
don't have
Yeah,
his opponent.
gonna have to.
Oh boy,
What is
Pretorius
it?
is
Pretorius is still playing the deadly deck,
well, of
basically,
course. Uh,
and just reminding people.
Big Germ
And
is on a
is he on?
Acquisitive Crow deck. It's
Is that
a
the Euro deck? Is he on the Euro deck, the one with Levitate and is that the
he's
one?
running Geomar
Yeah, that's the
and
one. That's
Acquisitive Crow.
I'm looking for it. Um,
Unfortunately, our producer, who is providing the main view, can't add Big Germ,
can he have?
so
Does he have Pretorius?
it seems like we're probably not going to wind up being able to get to see
Ah,
this.
okay.
So I think we're actually going to go to a break until this spells like Orc Runehammer, which is not a spell or targeting anything, but still is used to kill stuff, or Island's Choice, which is
I
another
Yeah,
thing that you get access
that's
to in Primal.
that's good, but I feel like if stars align for Beavis, I think it's a great matchup for him. Vara's choice is my top removal for Icaria. It's if you time it correctly, and the correct timing is obviously either at 6 or just after a rise to the challenge, you basically get your free Icaria, and there's not much pressure left on Udini's side. Might be wrong though, but I think it's gonna be interesting to watch this matchup. You got the Dunwalker that come back from the Archers because you do not have any enforcers on Udini's side.
Well,
It,
before we get into
we'll
game, I
see.
really
Yes.
quickly want to shout out our sponsors, Ink Gaming and Matcherino. For Ink Gaming, you can go use our code TGB12 to get 12% off of your order for custom mouse pads and
Yes, mouse pads, and I think it's head gaze and
whatever you want there.
yeah,
And over on Matcherino, you can add a tool for the
community link.
invitational
Yes.
by using the code ECL August 18, which you can see by the Match Arena link on the below the stream. So now let's dive into the game between Houdini and Beavis was crying to see whether Xenon or everything but Xenon wins.
I think that that's an obvious redraw on Udini's side. I think really the am I going to see Vara's choice is gonna end up mattering for Beavis.
Beavis has an easy keep with a access to a turn 2 Teacher of Humility and some Sandstorm
Nice.
Titans for follow up.
You gotta tell Udini that he can start.
He should know now, so I suspect we're just about to actually get this up and moving. I hope.
I messaged him as well.
Yeah,
Should be soon.
here we
Okay,
are.
there we go. Oof. That's no good when you don't have when you can't play the torch
Oh
for
yeah,
teacher.
Houdini doesn't have the fire influence he'll need to be able to torch the
Yeah,
teacher, which means
you might
it's
find it
gonna
next
be,
turn.
yeah, I mean he's gonna need to, otherwise he's gonna be hit with the teacher, and that makes Rise to the Challenge and his very
Wisdom
strong
and
spells
strategize
a
and
lot worse.
yes, yes. This is actually gonna be perfect draw for Ginny.
Exactly what he needed. So now, if you're Beavis, do
Hmm.
you still run out the Teacher of Humility?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, there's no reason not
I
to force your opponent to have
I
it.
am of the opinion that now that the ladder has adapted, teacher is basically a removal bait that you
Right.
kind of have to get rid of, but you can't afford to kill that efficiently, and torch is still the best way to kill it. So you put it on the board and you let your opponent get rid of it, and if he doesn't have a unit to block it, you're winning the trade.
Right. So now, the Orc Interrogator won't be able to show up on turn 3
Why not? Oh yeah, the two shadow sigils. You're right.
because the Xenon banner, of course,
Is
is
depleted.
depleted unless you have a unit. And
I need to
Beavis no
speculate.
longer has a unit because of that teacher dying.
There you go. Um, Hellstorm and Runama. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you see, that's the torch. The torch was taken for the interrogator to actually survive a turn longer. Like,
Houdini is taking his time resolving a strategize here, deciding what he wants to send away, and that was one of the two kinds of wisdom, right?
it was. He's keeping 6 power on top. Wants to get access to the Archwell on turn 5.
Ooh, Beavis is going to wind up
Ooh,
burning Avara's choice here. He does have the second one, which is probably partially why, but
I
that
reiterate, this is not the correct timing for us.
well, I mean, if you just have infinite backups, it's probably not that big of a deal.
Yes, apparently, okay. Vivi says, I'll draw all my Varus choice
So now the question
spell
is,
activated. Yeah, the problem is now that you've played it and you've seen no units, you're not gonna want to play another one, or are you?
yeah, like I mean, he knows that Houdini just drew several cards thanks
Yeah.
to the wisdom and his normal card draw, which means there's a decent chance that he might have something. But then again,
It was it targeting a merchant with the Varus choice? Because he
yeah,
knows there's
perhaps he
only
was
three
trying
units.
to stop a merchant from showing up. That
I
is
don't know.
certainly possible. Looks like,
But I mean, that's still not the right thing to do because the merchant is a tail that your opponent is gonna get his Icaria or his Rizan. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna get it, and if he's played the merchant, then you play the Varus choice. You see?
Beavis probably could have figured out that Houdini probably had a harsh rule there because he didn't
Yeah.
have any units in hand when the first choice was first used. Oh, now Houdini's spending the Rune Hammer and the Torch to kill the Owlhead here. How do you feel about that choice? The Sandstorm Titan gets to show up in response, but can die to the harsh rule.
Aled. Aled is a problem for the deck if it can hit a Dawnwalker. That's
Yeah,
hard
but
to remove, but yeah, that might have been a bit expensive. Oh, the
whoa!
new
I have
animation.
not seen that new animation for Hell.
Ooh.
That
Ah, do you keep dealing? Okay, keep
I
dealing.
like that because it's actually ice rather than lightning. That's good.
Yes.
There goes the
Okay.
Rajan. And
Okay.
interesting choice to not play
Hmm.
the teacher here now and instead grab the merchant. I guess since Houdini knew the merchant was there, he didn't want to give his opponent the opportunity to go grab and play the Icaria, but then again, also
Would
you
have
wouldn't have
been.
had a turn to be able to play it the
That's
same turn you grabbed it. Perhaps he
again
was worried about the Flame Stoker, but I mean, it
maybe
would
the
put your
flame
opponent
stalker. Okay.
down on tempo to force them to play the
No, no,
merchant and
the flame stalker fear makes sense, but again, okay, the flame stalker makes sense, but if you thought that your opponent was going to get an Icaria, you let him get the Icaria because he's trading a good card of his hand for it, and then
right.
you snipe the
Yes.
Icaria. Devoted Thurge is an interesting thing in BV's was crying deck. Actually, it's the one that doesn't fit in the deck, and that I'm curious to see what it's for in the deck. It's not that aggressive, but it actually might be able to stabilize and temporize the aggressive matchups.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice for
Yeah,
sure.
it's interesting.
At this point, Beavis is kind of running out of pressure, and that
No, no.
Vara's choice is once again just going to feel awkward. I suppose he might be wanting to wait on the Devoted Third until that hammer goes away because something like this impending doom seems more likely to deal with the hammer. However, Houdini has two copies of Island's Choice. And
Yes.
here we see impending doom. All it did was four a four cost, your opponent plays a removal spell, and you take one
Uh,
damage.
could you close the graveyard on your side because I couldn't see the scouts. Sorry. Yeah, perfect. Dunwalker is a nice pick. I assume he kept it on top. The
Yeah.
Dunwalker is nice.
What? What is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
play?
yeah. You wanna avoid the Thurge dying to the
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
it's not a good play. It's not a good play. But I'm telling you why he's doing it.
I'd be more interested in just letting my Dawn Walker get
Yes, get the killer to
smashed.
kill Ikaria. Yes. Yeah, you put okay. Not putting the Dawnwalker maybe is fine, but putting the killer on the third is a bit weird to me.
It's gonna be awkward, especially when that Theurge dies without ever getting to make use of the killer.
Yeah, at this point you might not want to attack. It was your barrier against the rune hammer. I disagree with that.
Yeah, Beavis is playing around this Runehammer, but as a result, not playing around this Ikaria.
Which you know is coming because Rise.
Yeah, there's nothing else to rise for at this point.
Is this gonna be harsh? Yes.
Look, if you had played the Dawnwalker there, you would have gotten it back off the Allhead.
Ah, yeah. Playing the Dawnwalker first was the right play. I don't know. There was some sequencing that was wrong in this game. Mm. Yeah, okay. Playing the power makes sense since you're not playing any market.
Yeah, once again, Beavis is not running any merchants and no market, which
Mm.
is, I feel, a very odd choice at this point in the game.
That's 11 to the face.
Yep, and that's Beavis at a point where
He
if
needs
he
to
had
find a
some way to
Titan.
kill the Ikaria, he'd survive, but
There
an
you go.
Argenport Instigator is not some way to kill the Ikaria. So Houdini takes game one against Beavis, and we move on to game two as soon as the players are ready. Apparently, there are still a couple of issues with Match Arena right now, and that you cannot see the prize pool for the tournament, but that is something that should be fixed at some point.
You can't see it? Oh, you could see it yesterday. That's too bad.
Yeah.
It's like 80.
Yeah, it's getting close to $80 right now, and the Match Arena page will, of course, be open for the entirety of August up until the event. So, players are getting into it. Let's dive on in and see how it goes.
Is that a keep from Udini? It kills the an early teacher.
Yeah, I'd keep it just because you are able to kill an early teacher and have access to your merchant.
Hmm.
From Beavis's side of things, that's also a keep because of the early teacher.
Did we tell them that they could go?
We have now. I suppose Houdini's just taking a little bit of time to decide once again if keeping that early torch is worth it, and I say yeah, it's very worth it.
Keep it. Yeah, because Ikaria Blue, especially Udini's version, is very punished by the teacher. So yeah, we'll see Udini keeping a torch for a teacher. Then again, that's a basically you should always assume that your opponent is going to remove the teacher and he's going to keep a hand to remove the teacher these days. If he's
So
got a
Beavis
deck that can be
is trying
punished
to
by it.
decide if he wants to keep the Auric Interrogator on top here, or perhaps ship it. He decides to
Huh.
ship it because currently he has no ways to actually buff it up and make it able to actually provide extra value.
Yeah, and there's also the threat of Hellstorm, which get rid of all your board except the Thurge. So yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to draw too much power, but This should be okay. We
Then
haven't seen the
again,
Impending Doom do much last game.
a bunch of power can be fine as well because of the ion.
You need more than that.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's my point. You can draw a bunch of power and be
No,
able to
but
play.
draw your pressure and then you'll play your iron and then
I mean, yeah,
you
that's
need.
the superior line of play for sure.
That's not the one you're taking, right?
So interestingly, Beavis will not be able to play the ion next turn off of the power that he currently has in hand.
That's okay though. The play is
The
to play
Dawnwalker
Dawn
is also
Walker.
an option for sure. Or another teacher.
Meh.
I mean, your opponent has the hailstorm, but you don't necessarily
Yeah,
know
you
that.
don't. I hope you don't. And yes, I guess it's just torch, and you haven't seen any other pose, so maybe yeah, teacher might be the right play. I like
Well,
having my Dawnwalkers out because there is no silence on Udini's side, but yeah, teacher is okay.
yeah, the aggression of playing the teachers makes sense because the game
Oh,
instantly gets a
that's
lot
tough.
harder for your opponent the moment a teacher connects with their face. No
Is it
matter what deck your opponent is playing, that is always the
is
case at this
yes.
point, especially
DC
since Mark refuses.
Karya DC Karya is a bottom for me, but am I wrong?
I mean, I'd top that. You have almost all the power you need, and you do have all the influence you need. You only need to draw one more power source.
Yeah, but you have access to your Ikaria in the market.
You
Yeah, you
make a
bottom
good
that.
point there, and that probably does mean that Houdini made the correct play in bottoming the Icaria. But
No, 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 no. I don't make the correct calls usually, so we'll see that. But I
I,
don't know. I think the Ikaria was a bit too much. You've got access to your Ikaria in the Dini's deck. We'll see that.
either way, down it went.
Strategize is nice.
Yeah, exactly. Strategize is one of
And
those cards that is
Bibi
really
still
powerful and, of course, punished by the teachers.
yes, exactly yes. So good call on Dini's for killing it, but Bibi still doesn't want to play the Dawnwalker. Never, ever.
It's interesting. I mean, using the power efficiently to play the Theurge as opposed to the Dawnwalker, there's something to be said for that. But then again, since let me really quickly check Beavis's list. Yeah, I mean, it's not a version that's running Xenon Obelisk, so there's there's only actually four cards in Beavis's deck outside of Ion's ultimate or things that are buffed by Alhead that actually trigger Dawn Walker's
What?
return.
You got Impending Doom, Sense on Titan, and Aled, and pretty much everything that's actually everything that's buffed by Aled.
Yeah, okay, so I missed the impending dooms when looking over there. So yeah, it's a bit more than
But
that, but still, it's kind of not a huge number.
I kind of disagree. But I can see your point. Yes, okay. It's not huge compared to other. Well, that's actually
But
useful.
this right here was the reason
Yes.
that Beavis was holding on to that Dawnwalker, being able to play it and give it killer in the same turn to kill that 3/3 Exton merchant. And that means that every single time the Dawnwalker comes back, it will have that killer. And if it survives for a turn, it gets to kill something else.
If I can play the devil's advocate, that doesn't make sense still. Because if your opponent is playing resources to actually get rid of your Dawnwalker, you don't care because it's going to come back. And you want it on the board to activate the Aled's ultimate, not ultimate, yeah, it's a ultimate, immediately.
I do like the play of being able to have the Dawnwalker around to pick up the killer as a removal spell
Yeah,
because you don't have any other removal spells in your hand right now if you're Beavis.
I mean, it
And
it ended up going nicely, so that's fine.
yeah, I
That's the
mean,
important stuff.
Beavis now has a massive amount of pressure that, and Houdini doesn't have any one card that can deal with it all. Houdini is going to have to start spending multiple cards to deal with the pressure that Beavis is putting forth.
Hmm.
And I want to
Needs
talk
to
a
find a
little bit
Arshul.
about how Houdini has the power to play an Icaria, but doesn't have an Icaria to play.
You're right. You're right. But then again, it is an Arshul, not an Kaya.
Yeah, he would need a Herschel here too, but even then, the Dawnwalkers just come back.
I don't know. Ikaya just dies to impending doom if Beavis wants her to.
Houdini decided to play the Rajan, and of course, Rajan had to kill the Dawnwalker there, otherwise, it would just die to the Dawnwalker the
Yes.
next turn. And that doesn't
Uh,
feel particularly great.
I mean, he had the torch in hand.
I see what Beavis was doing there by not attacking with the Appending Doom,
Yeah.
because the Razan is going to become a threat that could potentially race Beavis fairly
That's a
decently.
nice peak.
And yes,
Vanquish enables a clear line of attack for reason. Also, was it already
and
the lifesteal? Probably
yeah,
was.
it had lifesteal
Yeah,
before the Vanquish, so
that's a
that didn't suddenly
torch.
make the clock that much more insane, but it still is an insane clock right here that
Yes.
Houdini is representing just in a 5/5 lifestealer with flying. That torch on the Ion helps him a lot as well.
So
But
I
here we
think.
can see Beavis with the Var's choice that
Oh
he should
yes,
hopefully
nice.
recognize needs to go on Rajan and not into Houdini's hand.
Completely. Um, the thing that was missing from Beavis, that was a nice pick for Vara's choice, but the thing that was missing is actually kill the deck, in my opinion, from Beavis's on Beavis's side.
Yeah, he's
He,
not running copies of that, is he?
he's playing Auric Interrogator, which is kind of a way to draw, but uh, it's not a real way to draw unless you enable it. I would say instead of the Argent Port Instigator, you maybe want to play Kill the Deck. Kill the
Yeah,
Deck is
that
nice
is
with
definitely
Aled.
something worth considering.
It finds you gas in the late game.
I
Ooh,
imagine,
apparently he has no problem finding gas.
yeah, and I imagine that Houdini's style of deck is not exactly the style of deck that Beavis is looking to fight off against, because I would say Houdini generally has the advantage over Beavis in this matchup.
No, I would say the opposite actually. But yes, I don't know. Ikaya's deck, and that includes pile decks, don't have a great matchup against the Xenon that I'm running, but then again, it's a different version, so maybe Beavis wasn't sure
Right,
about
I'm
this
largely
one.
talking about Beavis's version of the list that is so.
I don't know. The cards that are important are still run for this matchup are still
Right.
run by Beavis. Like Vera's Choice, Sense on Titan. Those are great ways to counter Icaria. You've got Dawnwalker and Initiation that are just staples. I
Right, well, it looks like Houdini is going to
Yeah,
be losing this game to Beavis,
that's a tough position. Yes.
and that means we're going to go to game 3.
Yes, it's great. Okay. So do you think he's going to take this?
I I do think Houdini's going to win.
Hmm. I'm gonna root for my Xenon colleague.
I think that the deck with several copies of Harsh Rule is generally going to be the deck that plays a bunch of units.
I think the
Sure,
deck
it's
that
not.
plays Dawnwalkers is going to play is going to win against the deck that plays Arshul.
I mean, that's a perfectly reasonable thought there too, but I feel like Dawn Walker is almost the only particularly exciting card in Beavis's deck up against these Harsh Rules.
Well, yes, it is, but you've got the Dark Returns to give you some more gas and get your Titans and Allieds out there. Dark Return works with Allied, by the way. It's a draw. So
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
is
You can
true.
find some great thing to do. Seriously, Xenon is a great place to be at right now. And this is not a great hand from Houdini. Probably
No, it is far from exciting from Beavis as well. These players are probably both going to mulligan. We may be getting a spectator bug. Let me reload.
I don't think so. I think they're just stuck in Mulligans, telling them to go.
Based on Beavis's statement there, I wasn't entirely sure. Oh, here we are.
There we go. Ooh, that's incredibly exciting on both sides.
So it looks like the hand that I was looking at of Beavis's that I was thinking he was probably supposed to mulligan was actually
He's
the hand he
Mulligan.
got off of his mulligan.
Yeah. Oh, that's unlucky.
Definitely going to be tough here for Beavis. But then again, Houdini doesn't have a huge amount to do
And he
at
doesn't have any
first.
Justice Sigil for now.
The cards Beavis is currently closest to playing are those Auric Interrogators, and perhaps if he winds up drawing a time sigil to do so, he'd be able to follow up with a Xenon Initiation. That's something, maybe. Hi,
Yeah.
Argenport Instigator can be played, but that means
Yes.
Beavis is still going to be off power draws.
Okay, you've got two torch to get rid of the early threats here.
Oh, that's
Hmm,
still not a power draw for Beavis. I imagine that he's starting to feel a bit sad over there.
that's very unlucky. And his opponent, seeing that he's power screwed, is taking his time, not getting rid of the instigator, just drawing, getting his first justice sigil. It's nice. Get access to his market if he wants to.
Right.
Do you market like the alien's choice maybe? And because Vanquish is gonna kill what the alien choice can kill, and you don't need it right now because your opponent is power screwed, and you get your sigil. He's playing a banner in the market, right? I think
Yes.
he is.
It is an
Yeah,
odd choice
not to
from
play.
Houdini
Yeah.
not to play the merchant there because he still would have had the power to be able to torch the unit like that.
Yes.
And now Beavis is going to Dark Return the Argenport Instigator because that means he
Ugh.
gets to do something at all, even though
Not
it's
even
not a
playing.
very good something.
Odd. Yeah. Can I join you on the side that maybe he's not going to win this one?
Sure, open. We're open over here.
I feel sad about it because I love Zin.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love Xenon too. I think both Life Force and Killer's style decks are very interesting and have situations where either of them can be powerful in their own right. But I don't think right now that this particular version of Xenon that Beavis is running is advantaged in the matchup against Houdini, even if Beavis were getting the power to be able to play all of these non-Dawnwalker cards.
Hmm, I'll disagree on principle, but I do agree that the version is special at least. I want to try it out because I want to remove the instigator and try it out. It feels a bit more aggro than what I'm used to with Xenon, and that's nice. I wanna test it. That
Sorry,
was incredibly greedy as well from Houdini, getting the Rizan when he doesn't know if he gets the
I
next
missed what you
target.
said right there as I was
Sorry,
being given a
yes?
mango smoothie.
A mango smoothie?
Yes,
Mango?
mango. Well,
Nice.
Beavis finally drew that time sigil, and Houdini hasn't exactly put on really any pressure here. But one of those things that Beavis might need to draw to follow this up would be another time sigil and a Sandstorm Titan, which he's not found. Because Sandstorm Titan is something that can of course block the Icaria that could show up fairly soon.
I approve of not playing the interrogator and waiting for Ryan. Or a potential bench, I guess. Doesn't give any target to Rizan. I like it.
And Razan shoots Beavis' face, and Beavis has a pause to decide if he wants to banish the Ixton merchant or not, and chooses instead to play the Ion at the end of the turn, something that can block the Ixton merchant. But then again, the Ixton merchant is no longer the core of Beavis's concerns, so
Yes.
Beavis will instead be killing the Razan with the killer on the Ion. And now here's Ikaria, and Beavis does not have a way to deal with that Ikaria within the next 2 turns, so Beavis is going to be losing this due to the immense several turns of Power Screw.
Yeah, there you go. That was that was a bit awkward to close the this particular round. Hmm. I'm a bit disappointed. I think there was something to do with the
It was
this matchup.
certainly unfortunate.
But I applaud the Xenon choice. I like it. Want to see more?
I believe that was our last match of the round, so let's take a quick break
Yes.
in preparation for round 3, or round 4, rather.
Yes. Four. And welcome back. So we've got our two trios contestants with Western Cancer and Houdini. We've seen both deck, but I am interested in the Mask of Torment versus Icaria Blue matchup. Don't see it much on ladder. Maybe
It's
it's just me, but
definitely an interesting matchup here. I would say that Houdini is on the somewhat more traditional list, but
yes.
I'm not sure that necessarily gives him the advantage here.
Isn't it not? Is not even that traditional. Like the three units that he plays are a core of Icaria Blue now, but you usually run like two or three more. So I like both lists, and I personally want to see more of the deck list. So just for the novelty of it. So I'm kind of rooting for him, but both lists look nice.
Yeah, worth note, alongside the two islands choice that Houdini has access to perhaps counter a massive flame blast, he also has access to two islands favors as a way to perhaps make use of a faith that a
Teacher
massive
doesn't.
fireball to the face isn't going to matter because
I
it's just
ended.
going to hit the Aegis.
I was still on the previous matchup, and I forgot that yeah, Alien's favor might actually would be a way to counter teacher. It's it pops the Aegis, but it doesn't put the weight on you. Sorry,
That
so
is true as well.
might be a reason why this is run. So yeah, um, as you were saying, it can protect you against a big flame blast to the face, which is nice.
Yeah, no matter how big it is, Flame Blast doesn't go through an Aegis.
This is where you want to be playing Decimate.
No, I refuse to talk about Decimate in a good light. One of my friends absolutely loves that card. He's still my friend,
Your friend is a good person,
but
don't worry.
maybe if it dealt enough damage to actually be relevant.
It deals more than Mask does.
No, the Tormentor deals more than just 10.
Well, no, it does. It deals 8, right? Doesn't it?
Well, it depends. So the Tormentor gets to hit probably at least once, maybe not always.
Ah, and you mean
But
with the little guys?
yeah, even if it doesn't hit,
Okay, sure.
it then starts making the little guys who are continual pressure, even if they die. So the Tormentor makes your opponent's life hard. Decimate costs 10 and then just deals 10 damage. 10 damage is frequently not even enough to kill your opponent. Like if Western Cancer was running Decimate for some reason rather than Flame Blasts,
That would be
it
impressive.
would not have won the matchup that we saw 2 rounds ago. it would not have been
No,
enough damage.
for sure, for sure. I was joking though. you you do know that he's not playing any primal, so
Right, yeah. And I understand that you're joking, but I'm still
yes,
going to
I get what
attack
you
anyone who considers
in
Decimate worth playing.
in a more general in a more general way. 10 damage, 15 damage, it doesn't matter as long as you're not killing your opponent. The damage you're dealing to him is kind of irrelevant. You've got to talk about irrelevant damage. It's got to kill the opponent. Your HPs are a resource, so doesn't matter if you leave the if it deals 24 and you can't deal the 25th damage. It doesn't matter.
It sounds like we're holding off on
Yes,
getting into the game a little bit
we need to
because
go.
players are having some minor issues. We should be able to get going with it soon, though.
Those deck lists though, I love them. We need we need to see Mask of Torment actually going off, and this is a good matchup for it to go. You've got one boar in the market. It's it's good. It's just gonna be able to hit the Mask of Torment here.
I mean,
Nothing
if there are
else.
multiple masks in play for
Yes,
Western Cancer, Boar can destroy them all at once, but otherwise, the Boar is kind of single use, in that if Western Cancer loses a mask to the Boar, he can then play additional ones and
that
not
also means
worry.
Udini wants to go and get a ball to counter his opponent's strategy, but the fact is that he is quite relying on his market to provide pressure because he's got
Yeah.
two Rise of the Challenge, and that's it. You can draw your Icaria and your Rizan, but you've got more consistency with the Extend Merchant. So this forces some interesting choices in my opinion. We'll see.
However, it is now time to get in game, so let's go
Yes, let's
find out.
go. Huh. What do you think of Udini's hand?
I think Houdini's hand is a mulligan.
It's tempting. Tempting when you consider his opponent's deck.
Speaking of his opponent, Western Cancer's hand, which is a single power hand with a petition and some temple scribes and some various other things, is probably not quite keepable. And there we
Udini
see.
kept the hand.
Ah, so he did.
I think I agree. I'm not certain, but I think I agree. I would have kept it, I guess. Wasn't Gensa getting something a bit better than the one you described? I don't know.
Yeah,
He
I
still
would
doesn't
say
have
this
any
is
shadow.
better, though he still is going to need to draw more to be able to do much. The Praxis Banner will help him get towards the Vital Arcana if he needs to, but I feel like if he's getting to 5 power without having access to the Shadow to play, perhaps the Ion
Mm,
or the Inkling Blood, if somehow we get to a point where Houdini has played one of his big Justice units,
this is gonna
then
stay on top,
yeah.
I think.
And that's another part of why I like Western Cancer's matchup here against Houdini. A lot of Houdini's threats are one of two sets of Justice units, and in Cold Blood works pretty well against
Yes,
Justice units.
that is very true, but we need to find the Shadow Sigil for that, which is not happening yet.
That
And
is
Houdini is
also
keeping
very true.
his power on top of the deck, on top of his deck, and he's quite right about it. He's going to be able to draw via Wisdom at the end of this turn, and there you go, and you are going to see an Ikalia and a Rizan on time.
That is correct. And since Western Cancer is locked out of Shadow right now, that's going to be pretty awkward for him if he does not wind up drawing more power
Hmm.
right now. So, do you keep the torch or send it away?
I think you. I don't know. I can see his hand, so I can see Western Cancer's hand, so it doesn't have any real impact. But I think bottoming it was the correct solution. You've already got your pressure, and you have your vanquish, which is the important removal to
Right.
get the Karya and the Rizan through. So
Yeah, I probably would have been bottoming it there too. But of course, I also have access to
yeah,
Western Cancer's hand.
not the greatest pick for now, the alien's favor, but it can. I don't. Do you want to? Do you want to maybe wait and don't let your opponent? Your opponent wants to torch plus in cold blood your Icaria, but that's not happening anytime soon. So do you want to keep the favor and not bait the torch on your face to get the favor for the favor for the potential flame blast available?
It's definitely something that you could consider, but I feel like you also don't really have to worry about it a huge amount because
Yes.
you've seen that he's been so locked up.
Rizan kept on top, obviously. More
Now,
pressure.
Temple Scribe might draw into something good here. Petition is
Oh,
serviceable. That is going to go get
a shadow to
something.
jail.
Yeah, Crest of Mystery.
Yeah,
That's
Kristen.
a fairly good choice. So now,
Another thing that the alien's favor does is enabling the lifesteal for Rizan, if that wasn't done already.
one thing about grabbing the
Hmm.
crest there is
Yes.
he, of course, knew that the Heart of the Vault was on top already because it has warp. And since he
Yes.
did wind up keeping it there, maybe it would have been correct for Western Cancer to grab
Something
a.
undepleted.
Yeah, but to have the torch up. But then
Hmm.
again, maybe he specifically chose that so that he wouldn't have
Oh,
the torch up, which is also possibility to avoid pauses.
an interesting choice. Would you have gone with the day show?
Well, one of the issues with Daisho is it doesn't play well against Heart of the Vault, but
Yes.
Western Cancer would also need to gain yet another power to play Heart of the Vault. So instead, Western Cancer is drawing two cards off of Vital Arcana, and they were both Heart of the Vault.
Yeah, and there is no Arshful in Udini's deck for now. So in Udini's hand for now. So yeah, might work out.
Western Cancer currently does not have enough shadow influence to play in Cold
Yeah,
Blood, and doesn't have any other way to deal with the Icaria.
that's the heart of the vault, right? It's got to be. No, okay.
He wants the two draw, and also he couldn't play the Heart of the Vaults yet because he doesn't have enough power. He has the influence,
What?
but only 5 power.
I can't see that actually. I'm seeing 6.
It's definitely 5.
That's huh. Okay, I'm just gonna. What the?
That's on your eyes.
Uh, that's on my screen, but I am getting back into the spectator mode. Hmm, that's so quick. What? He's got. Yeah, you're right. He's got only 5. What? Okay, whatever.
Well, Western Cancer is now down to 5,
5.
which means either the Rajan, the Icaria, or the Daisho are lethal threats, and Western Cancer lost that to Power Screw,
Yes.
which is one of the things that can happen in Eternal. We've seen it happen once before today as well, and we see that it is somewhat more likely to happen if your deck is 3 faction. That is something you do have to be concerned about if you're
But then
going
he's
into
playing
additional
petition.
factions.
He's playing petition instead of seek power
I like Petition.
because he's only playing waystones,
I
which
like
is
Petition a
interesting.
lot. I do like the strategy of
Yes.
not strategizing. and being a petition deck with something like Waystones. I think that that strategy
That's
is currently
interesting. At
underrated
least.
for more controlling decks like Western Cancers right here.
Hmm. I want to get to the bottom of this spectator thing. I'm happy. I think we're back into game.
That we are. Once again, one of the benefits of
That's a
having no
mulligan.
sideboards. There's nothing to really
Yes.
bother with.
That's a hard mulligan on Odini's side. We'll see. What does Western Cancer have?
Western Cancer has a potentially capable hand, but also very questionable because once again it has no shadow influence and has a Mask of
Is he
Torment and
traumatized
an
and he's
Ion.
gonna? Is he
Yeah, he
gonna? Yeah,
mulligans that.
he's redrawing it. Okay then. Telling Odini that it is good to go,
Yeah.
and
Western
there we
Cancer
go.
now has shadow influence, but no time
Yes.
influence, and a Heart
Oh
of the Vault on
no.
top. It might be correct for him to start off with a Crest of Chaos to send that back, but he won't get to because, of course, he's going second, which means he draws that Heart of the Vault. Now he sees a
uh,
Praxis banner on top.
yeah,
That's probably
that's
going to
good.
stay there.
Hmm.
And it does.
Do you want to play the undepleted power to get to strategize early, or do you want to play the crest?
Well, I think the question comes to how dedicated you are to playing Ion on turn 3. And since Western Cancer is not an aggro deck and Houdini is not an aggro deck, I feel like that doesn't matter that much.
Mm.
So being able to keep searching like this is the correct play.
Okay. Mask of Torment being drawn at 3 is a big deal, actually. Get to
Western
play.
Cancer won't be able to play it on 3 right now because
It doesn't have any undepleted time influence. You're right. You're very right. Hmm.
in fact he isn't running any undepleted time influence in his entire deck.
Yeah, he's got the Waystones.
He doesn't have the time waste on.
Yes, he does. Look on the left, Amber Waystone.
Oh, my bad. The Amber Waystone looks black. So
Was
does
it
the
done?
Amethyst Waystone, but I thought it didn't. Yeah, he is running them.
He's running all Waystones. 4 copies of each, except 3 for the Amethyst
Amethyst
one.
one, the Shadow one. Yep.
Which, as you said, is a good solution with petition. It's your 2 cost seek power, but it's you're seeking a better power than the one seek power
Mhm.
gets. So yeah, might be interesting. Doesn't have the third time influence for this beautiful Heart of the Vault.
But he has various other things to be doing now anyway. He can start building up his extra power thanks to that mask. Could use the Devoted Theurge as a way to do so.
Yes. That doesn't trigger Nightfall.
No, it does not. You are correct. But Western Cancer could be thinking about flashing in one or both of the ions at the end of Houdini's turn.
At least one of them could go through. What is this gonna be? Is this gonna be Wisdom and a Crest afterwards for Houdini? It's gonna be. You probably don't want to rename the face. You've got the Iron Threat. Um, you've got better targets for it. So yeah, Wisdom and probably a Crest. Oh, could be a Merchant as well, I guess. He had the opportunity to go and get something like a Rizan.
Right.
Hellstorm is tempting, I guess. Decides that the arsenal is enough. Okay then.
So yeah, Western Cancer does flash in or ambush in both of the ions. Houdini could decide to torch one of them.
Probably gonna do so. That's a lot of hesitation.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, not killing the premium. That is a good person.
Leave him the premium, but we're taking away your other one.
Okay. Granite Waystone works well with the market. Might want to keep the grenadine, and we see an arsenal coming through, prepping the terrain for an Ikaria, and actually two. Petition is on a great roll. This is
Hmm.
maybe the getting the time waystone. Okay, I would have probably gotten the amethyst one. Granted, I
Right.
don't know the deck right, but I would have taken the extra draw, I guess.
It looks like Western Cancer is more dedicated to the Mask of Torment plan, perhaps going for either the
Yeah, yeah.
Tormentor or the Flame Blast.
He knows his deck better than I do, so probably correct.
But now Western Cancer might wind up having to use the Flame Blast to kill the Icaria, or he could wait a turn and draw the torch to use the torch
Yes.
and purify, but even then he's also going to have to use the Theurge's ability twice to make it able to actually profitably block Icaria. So I do think that we might be seeing the Flame Blast here
Yes.
to kill Icaria, and that is indeed the case.
Flame blast. Okay, if you do it at 12 power, you deal 10. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. It
Okay.
is X damage minus 2.
I wonder if that was the right way to go. You know the torch. Okay, okay, he bottomed the torch. That makes sense. Because if you kept the torch on top of your deck, wouldn't you want to go face with the flame blast and just hope for something because you know that your opponent's hand is full and it's probably full of threats and removal. So
It is an
um,
odd choice.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting. He went for the kill on the Ikaria. I don't know if that kind of forfeits the match if he doesn't find something, but
Oh, yes, it's X minus 1, not X minus 2. I
oh,
was
now it's X
forgetting about
minus.
the 1 damage already on Flame Blast. The
Ah, okay.
new templating for Power Surge is weird. But there we see the Mask of Torment getting bored.
You got bored. It's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, I think I think your way of winning was to keep the torch and hope for a
Well,
draw.
Western Cancer does have a turn or two to potentially top
Yes,
deck another.
this is nice. There you go. You see the granite waystone being
Yes.
used with the merchant. Great way to use your merchant and a disjunction something.
Send the granite into the market. You can grab the disjunction to
Yeah, I
get
think
back your
that's
other Mask of Torment.
that's
Or,
probably the best draw. Or a mask of torment. Oh,
well,
a moment of creation.
I'd
I
say the
forgot
option is
the
really
moment.
between the moment, which would only be making 4/4s right now, or
Hmm.
the disjunction, which would be allowing him to get back his +6 Mask of Torment. Instead, he's just going for the.
Yeah, because he can't play the mask of torment this turn if he gets a disjunction.
He could have, though, because it's a 3 cost mask.
Oh, it's a 3 cost 1. Oh yeah, yes,
That's a
that's weird. Yeah, he
very.
must have forgotten that he was
Yeah.
like just like me. He must have forgotten
Yeah.
that he was
I
a
mean, there's so many things going on. It is understandable to forget that there.
completely.
This mask is still enough that well, no, actually, it's not because Western Cancer
Yeah, he has the
um
alien's choice.
has to get through the
And the
+1 from
plus
the.
one from Runhammer, but the
Yeah,
alien's choice would have stopped it anyway.
true. Alan's choice would stop that anyway.
That's the
Zero
correct
cost
choice
torch. I
on the
mean,
other on the other
it's
hand.
possible that Western Cancer still is able to win this game here, but it
Yeah.
is looking like it's going to be fairly hard.
The main point is what. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say if your weapon gets boosted, that's pretty much the end.
Ah, yeah,
That
killing
is
the.
actually the end.
Oh, yeah, yeah. 24-24 Daisho is gonna be game.
Weirdly enough. Well, there you go. So that's 2-0 for Houdini and Ikaria Blue taking it and
Yeah,
proving once again that it is a solid deck.
it takes the tournament today, and
Yes.
I think we're going to be able to dive into a backup match of Pretorius versus Eric Yoda.
Yeah, we haven't seen Eric Kyoto's deck list yet, I think. But I just want to mention that yes, Western Cancer's deck was interesting to me. I hope we can see some variations on this because Flame Blast off of Mask of Torment is
A
a
very
nice
cool
concept.
style. I do
Yeah.
like it.
So congrats to Dini, and maybe we're gonna get to catch the end of Eric Kyoto versus Bertorius indeed.
I searched Shadowlands and found my way.
So
There
we
you
see
go.
that Pretorius has an active Carex coach driver, but it looks like he's going for the last word as his way to perhaps try to kill Eric Kyoto. I like this. He has the power he needs,
He's
and
at 7 life. That's not a lot.
he does have access to
The
Black Sky Harbinger, which is a way that could
huh.
get Brett back the life that he needs. But also,
What an interesting choice actually to take the last word in against a deck that plays Nightfall.
Eri doesn't really have much in the way of ways to be dealing damage
Ah,
to Brett at this point.
yeah, but Nightfall. You're gonna see probably the I don't know how it's pronounced. Aspirant.
So, in Cold Blood on the Statuary Maiden,
Yeah, makes sense. You don't want him to buff his units, but hmm,
and Lunar Mage just shows up to
okay.
keep the Knight fallen, I suppose.
Hmm. Might end up regretting it when the last word gets dropped.
Maybe. But we're going to have to find out. That's an odd choice by Pretorius there, because he knows there are plenty of ways for Irikyoto to keep Knight active. And does he have any in the market? Let's find out.
I don't have access to his market.
No, he does not.
Yeah, he ended up regretting the the nightfall. The To be honest, the choice of the last word might have been a
No, the last
might
word works out very well here.
yeah. Right now, it's working out.
Pretorius has, let's see,
Managed to
Pretorius
dive
does
Han from
have
Victorious.
a way to win here. He can torch one of the units
Torch,
now, since it
yes.
has deadly that can kill the Aurelian Merchant as well. He can play the Tripwire Grenadin, kill the Merchant, ult the last word, and win.
There you go. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know
What a
what
nice
game that
win.
was.
I don't know, but must have been pretty late into the game. Houdini versus Western Cancer took time, so might have been already 1-1.
Maybe.
This is a beautiful win, actually.
Yeah.
We're gonna check out which game it was, but like this, it was game 3, and Britorius takes this, and we have concluded the tournament actually. So
Yeah.
Houdini takes it with Ikaria Blue, and how are the standings? What is it? It's Houdini, Western Cancer, obviously. Solar Flare went 2 against Big Germ and gets third place, I believe.
Yeah, so once again, let's
Solar
talk
Flare,
really quickly
Cross,
about
Prometheus. Yeah.
the weekly
Yes.
events and the
Oh
reason
yeah.
why what these weekly events are building towards.
Yes, we talked about it at the start, and we're just gonna brief you again for those who weren't there. We have started the weekly, the Eternal Community League consisted of four tournaments. This one being the most casual one. They all awards points for your participation and your wins, and they build towards an invitational at the end of each month on Sundays at the instead of the usual Sunday challenge that we do. The invitational is a conquest format that differs from the squeeze that we're doing in 3 other tournaments, including this one. And that's pretty much all I can say about it. Do you have anything else to say? Probably.
Yes, I do. So we have the ECL Tuesday weekly event, which is an event targeted towards North American players that will award you points, invitational points for playing, as well as each win that you get in that event. That is a Swiss with best of threes consisting of just a single deck using markets and is capped to 4 rounds. We will not go over 4 rounds in that due to time. And we have the ECL Thursday Weekly, which is, of course, on Thursdays and is targeted more towards
European,
Europeans
yeah.
with a 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time start
Which
time.
translates to roughly 7, 8, or 9, depending on where you are in Europe. PM, that
The
is.
We have the Eternal Casual Friday, which you're, of course, here for right
Currently
now.
watching, yes.
That you'll not get points for wins in that, but you'll still get points for showing up.
Yeah, and it's mostly symbolic, so that it keeps being
Right.
casual
It's yeah,
and
we're
fun
keeping this
days.
as the Casual Friday, a fun time for people to show up and maybe play a bit of Eternal in a tournament setting with whatever deck they feel like trying out. Then we have the ECL Sunday Challenge, which is the Conquest format and
The
is
most serious one, yeah.
definitely the points there are double compared to the points that you get on the weekday events, and there's extra points for top finishers in that. So that is your best way to be pushing for one of the 16 slots in the end of the month invitational.
And we've got a prize pool via the sponsorship that we've got and the partnership that we have. So we've got Maturino and Inked Gaming. Do you want to pitch
Yes.
that as well?
Yes.
We
On
do.
Maturino, you are able to add to the prize pool for the tournament either
Yes,
for free
for
or
free.
for various different ways.
So for free would be great for us as well, because you just have to retweet some things or go to a website, and then it adds like 50 cents to the prize pool.
Yeah,
And
and you can also
yeah, it
use the
doesn't take
code
much time.
ECL August 18 in the
Yes.
coupon code section to add on there. I don't believe Maturino is currently entirely functional. They seem to be having a minor issue, which
Yeah, on
means
their
that
side, yeah.
you might not be able to put it in right now, which is unfortunate, but
Oh, it should be
hopefully you'll
resolved
be around to
quickly,
try it
yeah.
at some other point.
and via in gaming you can redeem a discount to via one of our codes to get some cool stuff. Is there like mouse pads and
Yeah, mouse pads
yeah?
and playmats and various other things, including dice bags and full on gaming bags and stuff. It's great for both tabletop gamers and video gamers.
Yeah, yeah, card game enthusiast and all of that and game, yeah, board
And
game
there might be
enthusiast.
some
Yeah,
TGP focused into gaming merch in the future
that
that
is
you
true.
might be able to win in an invitational or something.
So yeah, that's our main announcements. As always, you can check out our website, tgpeternal.com. We've got some new articles on various decks, and you've got yeah, I think the stream chat got the Maturino and all of that links, so that is fine. You can find the rules on our website as well, and as always, we hope that you enjoyed yourself. See,
Yeah, we thank all of the players and the viewers, and we hope to see you all here on Sunday and into the future.
yes, actually, we hope to see you, a lot of you, on Sunday. It's we've understood that it was an appreciated time frame for the tournament, so hope to see you there. And have a nice day, evening, or night in my case.
Yeah,
So yes, thank you very much, Cygnus. Thank you to our producer, The Rock, and to our TO, Dr. Hero. Thanks to all our players and to all our lovely viewers. Thank you.